A new episode of Skibidi Toilet has been released, in which they showed us the continuation of the journey of a squad of agents travels through the laboratory of the Skibidi toilets and the dangers they faced. The episode begins with a strange Skibidi attacking the POV plunger cameraman. Skibidi has a valve protruding from his eye. This is an obvious reference to the intros of the first and second parts of Half-Life. Skibidi easily withstands a blow to the head. He pierces the POV plunger cameraman's hand with his needle. But the POV plunger cameraman has new abilities. He can pull out little spikes from his hands. He uses them to throw the Skibidi back, and then he pulls out his plunger. But this is an unusual plunger. It is now covered in spikes. Although it was ordinary in the last episode, apparently he improved it during his journey. The plunger cameraman pushes the Skibidi against the wall, and then we see a skeleton, and it's a human skeleton. The last time humans appeared was in the first season, and everybody was wondering where they went. Apparently some of the humans were used in the experiments of the scientist Skibidi at their base. The plunger cameraman finishes off the Skibidi and watches how the red speakerman fights off the parasites. One of them runs towards him and is easily destroyed by the plunger. At this time the red speakerman stuns the parasite and simply throws him on the floor. And we are shown the rest of the group. The red cameraman looking at his tablet. In it are all the cameras of the Skibidi in the lab, and it is he who paves the way for the group, looking for where it is safer to pass. The other agents are having fun. You could say they are experimenting on Skibidis themselves. They shoot at the Skibidi with a stunning cannon and at the same time hit him with a bat. The red speakerman takes out his knives and we see in the cell window Skibidis, who are very frightened by the rage of the agents. There are more cameras in this room. In them there are experiments with Skibidis for their improvement and mutation. For example, there is a constantly burning Skibidi with lamps above. Apparently, the Skibidi scientists wanted to repeat the ability of the TV woman and the TV man Titan. Then there is some strange twitching Skibidi with a large head. And finally Skibidi skeletons. This is a reference to a popular meme and also to the early episode Skibidi toilets. The red cameraman breaks open the doors using a device and they open. The whole squad moves on. The funniest agents are two speakermen who are dancing to their music. The agents enter a new room with strange structures. As for me, they ended up in the acid production sector because of the tanks and pipes visible here. There are also strange doors, toilets and puddles of blood on the floor. Just imagine what terrible experiments are being carried out behind those doors. Cameraman's head falls to the ground in front of the operator. Then a scientist's experiment, a hybrid of a Skibidi and an agent, jumps on the squad. He rips off a camera from one of the agents. He is shot in the back with a gun, but it does not help against him. This is a less successful version of the hybrid. We have seen similar Skibidi toilets before, but they were much stronger and larger. And they generally looked better than this one. He has some broken parts, like the hand. I have some thoughts. Why is that? This type of hybrid was created from the dead agents during the battle. Their bodies were brought to the lab and the Skibidi toilets were attached to them. That is why they are broken in some places, because they were injured during the battle. And the gun does not deafen him because it is placed against the Skibidi toilets. But he is a mixture of a Skibidi toilet and an agent. The hybrid swings at the plunger cameraman but misses. The broken structure seems to be affecting him. The hybrid grabs the plunger and is about to destroy the plunger cameraman. The red cameraman jumps at him and slashes him with his knives. And the plunger cameraman just has to finish him off. But by the way, he doesn't do that, he just blinds him with spikes. The red cameraman nods. An explosion is heard from behind where they came from. Apparently, the Skibidi toilets broke the doors that blocked the red cameraman. It should not be forgotten that the squad is being followed all the time. In the crowd of pursuers you can see some more hybrids. All the chambers containing the results of the experiments are also opening. The door closes and we see that the red cameraman opened the passages further and the squad must retreat. The agents run after the plunger cameraman as a Skibidi toilet walks into the open door on the side, but not an ordinary one, but with closed eyes and ears. Who does not remember, similar Skibidi toilets were used against the Titan TV man, because they are with hypnosis and ultrasound protection. The red cameraman manages to close the door in time with the defuct device. He also closes the second door in the corridor, saving the speakerman from the strange Skibidi toilet. The speakermen are happy to have escaped at the last second and start dancing. Unfortunately, the Skibidi toilet managed to blow up the door and the agents die. The agents keep running, but the twin cameramen stay. They understand that they have to hold the Skibidi toilets down so that the others will run away. The agents fled to safety, the doors of which were opened by the red cameraman. But then there's another explosion and we see the wounded cameramen. They won't make it out in time. The red speakerman, realizing that they will not have time to escape, takes the device from the red cameraman and is about to close the shutter of the Skibidi toilet, leaving the twins behind. The plunger cameraman asks him to wait for the twins. But as soon as the Skibidi toilet appeared, the red speakerman closed the doors and the twins died. After that, the red speakerman returned the device. The plunger cameraman was furious about this act. He pushes him and hits him, but then stops. The red speakerman understands everything and leaves. It was a very difficult decision from my point of view. And before that, the red speakerman seemed to dislike the regular operators. For example, he didn't give a hand to one of them when he fell. But actually he is right. Risking a squad and a very important mission to destroy the scientist for the sake of 2 wounded agents was not worth it. When the agents infiltrated the base, they had to realize that this mission had one end, and it had to be finished at all costs. After all, many had died for the chance to kill the scientist. But we will remember these cameramen. They sacrificed themselves for the sake of the mission. The plunger cameraman gives the middle finger to the Skibidi toilets. By the way, about that weird Skibidi toilet. It is a reference to Michael Jackson. It is clear on his face, hat and hair. The squad moves on. There are only 5 agents left. My theory that there would be 2 or 3 agents at the end is coming true so far. They go to the place which shines green. This is the acid production plant. Finally, notice how the design of the laboratory has changed. It has become sterile, and the doors are similar to the hermetic doors of chemical factories. That is why the Skibidi Jackson could not break them. Unlike in the past, they are very strong and can withstand acid. But maybe this green light is Defux's ability. Here the episode ends. Let me tell you my theory about what will happen next in the lab. In the next few episodes, the squad will lose more agents. But in the end they will be able to destroy the scientist. After all, they sacrificed a lot, and I can't imagine that it was all for nothing. And that's all. Thanks for watching. Like and write your theories in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Bye everyone.